Who came through on a dirt bike. Boom. Killed him.
Wow.
I asked my wife, I said, who's at fault here? Right. Exactly. Like they're both in the wrong.
Right.
So who's at fault? And I don't know, that one thing has nothing to do with the other as far as color is concerned. But I'm like, everybody's like, oh, the dude on the dirt bike, you know, he's at fault now because he ran. But the dude on the dirt bike is at fault. I'm like, well, what about the skateboarder?
Oh, but
he was also in the middle of the street.
Oh, but
Right. And I think it would help us as a community and would help us bond more if we just step back for a minute and actually, instead of being so ready to defend because we share skin tone, we take a look at the entire situation. Because I said, I don't know who's at fault. To me, this one is a draw. That's what I said.
Right.
This one is a draw. Even though the young boy died on a skateboard, I said maybe he had headphones on, or maybe he was texting, he wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I saw a dude the other day on a bike, no hands, texting. I said, yo, he's a gangster. Because how do you do that?
Your sense of awareness got to be off the chart.
Exactly. So, you know, had the boy on the skateboard been black and the dude on the dirt bike been white, yo, the city would be up in arms. However, when you look at the entire picture, they're both at fault. They're both in the wrong, in my opinion, because they're in the middle of the street. So, yeah, but all this stuff we have to. I feel like it still baffles me that no one in Buffalo has something on them. I could walk out my neighborhood and go to the Dunkin' Donuts, and I guarantee you one of these young boys it's probably hanging out.
Yeah,
like they probably ain't even trying to tuck it.
Because they don't have the thought process. Let me get a holster.
Right. And I'm in a decent part of Philly, right? Like you in Buffalo, like home of like Griselda. Come on, fam. Like, come on, somebody ain't got something. And I say, but then again, it's like, what if somebody retaliated against him? Then what? I would imagine he would be a hero. I would hope that he would be a hero.
Yeah, one can hope.
I would hope that he would be a hero. My man just knocked 10 of us off, and we only got one in return. Put a crown on him.
Yes.
True that. But the thing with Trayvon, I did not know that, so thank you for introducing that information to me. But I think a lot of men from our community was looking at it as the fact of, you took my son from me. So that part right there was the part where you like, there's nothing on this fucking earth you could ever give me to replace what you have taken from me. So just some of the people I know, and I share some of their sentiments. If you take him, then you might as well be ready to take me. That's just, how it is. But anyway, still to this day, to know that George Zimmerman is basically still doing the same shit as far as like wilding out, and no one has touched this dude from our community. But everybody's such a fucking tough guy. And, they'll do this and they'll do that. And it's like, you're so willing to do that to your own kind, but when it's somebody from another community, especially someone wearing a uniform that may be corrupt, all hands off. That doesn't make any sense to me. And again, I'm not advocating, violence on any particular group. But at the end of the day, again, as men, if we don't protect our own, who's going to protect them? That's just the point that I'm making with that. But again, this young man who, went into this business and went ham. Another thing that I find puzzling is the fact that, they had already talked about this man had been under investigation, or, he's had psychological, evaluations, but no one thought to keep, well, maybe we need to keep an eye on this cat. So it's kind of like he fell through the cracks. And again, when he falls through the cracks, no one's going to step up and say, hey, that one's on me. It's always going to be, well, I don't know what happened. I kicked it upstairs, or I kicked it left and right, and I never heard anything else, about it. So again, when it comes down to the responsibility or seeing someone actually own up to what has happened, no one's going to do that.
And was he 18?
Yeah.
So who bought the gun?
That's one thing that I'm foggy on. I read one news report to where the guy who the gun store that sold him the gun did not see anything wrong with it. But I know anytime I buy any gun, whether it's a pistol or rifle, they doing a background check. If he's been seen by somebody, it should be a record somewhere.
So he's 18. He was from Pennsylvania, right?
No, he's Conklin, New York.
So he was from New York and I thought he drove. Okay. I don't know enough about it. Okay. But because I know in PA, you got to be 21.
As far as I remember.
Trust me, I went through this with my son.
As far as I remember, you have to be 21 to buy any firearm.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Listen, my son turned 21. Like, it was like 12:01. He was already down, like getting fingerprinted so he could get his carry permit. So what I wanted to say before I interrupted you was, like, if he was 18 and his parents bought the gun, his parents should be prosecuted as well. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But not enough people take that stance.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're not buying an AK to go hunting.
They're doubtful.
Yeah. That's the other thing that I heard. I heard his father gave him the gun. So it's not clear. I wanted to touch on two things that both of y'all said before we kind of move on, and y'all can give y'all feedback on it. Some Select said that he fell through the cracks, so to speak. I don't think there were any cracks for him to fall through, because for them, this is typical. And what I mean typical is, oh, I'm having a crisis. Oh, let's send you to talk to the guidance counselor at school. Oh, you're okay. That's one thing. And Blake, what you were saying about protecting, what does that look like in our community? Or was that Son Solex that said that? But in either case, what does protection look like in our community when you look at the fact that Black men are not teaching their sons, or not around to teach their sons, proper conflict resolution, how to react in certain situations?